You know that feeling when you do something really thoughtful for someone, but it's like you're wearing an invisibility cloak? Well, today we're talking about exactly that. All those little and sometimes big sacrifices we make for people we care about that just seem to go completely unnoticed.
Yeah, it's that exact moment. You go way out of your way, you make a real sacrifice, and nothing. It's like it just vanished into thin air. Well, guess what? You're not imagining it. Let's walk through a few scenarios that I bet will feel pretty familiar. Okay, first up, you pour hours of your precious free time into safety ratings, deep diving into parent reviews, all to find the absolute best car seat. You finally present your amazing find, and the only thing they say is, "Oh, nice color." All that effort, all that research, poof, totally invisible. Or how about this one? You've been dreaming of that city vacation, the museums, the energy, that little coffee shop you saw online, but deep down, they're dreaming of a beach. So you just quietly pack away your own dream to make theirs happen. And it happens with the small stuff too. It's date night, and you suggest that Thai place again. Not because it's what you're craving, but because you know it's their absolute favorite. It's the small, quiet act of putting them first, and it so often just flies completely under the radar. So these aren't just random, disconnected acts of kindness. If you've ever had that feeling and wondered, is there a word for this? The answer is yes. Researchers have actually given it a formal name that really helps us get what's going on here. And here it is, consumption sacrifice. Now, what's so brilliant about this definition is how specific it is. This isn't just about being nice. No, it's a willing and intentional choice to take a hit, whether it's to your bank account, your schedule, or just your personal taste, all for somebody else. So, for something to really count as a consumption sacrifice, it's got to have these three ingredients. First, you have to do it on purpose. It can't be an accident. Second, you're doing it because you expect it'll make them happy. And third, you have to give up something that you actually care about. Okay, so let's dig into that last part, the valued resources. What are we actually giving up when we do this? Well, the research breaks it down into three main categories. We all get sacrificing money and time, right? Those are pretty tangible. You can point to them. I spent $50 on that, or that took me all afternoon. But this is where the research gets really fascinating. They introduce a third and often totally hidden sacrifice, our preferences, all the little wants and desires we just decide to set aside. And this quote from the researchers just nails it. They're basically saying that our own tastes and what we want should be thought of as a resource, just like cash or an hour of our day. Giving them up is a real cost, even if it never shows up on a receipt. And just look at how this plays out. This table shows it's happening at every single step. Before you even buy something, you might sacrifice your preference by just keeping quiet about what you really want. When you buy it, you might sacrifice money for their choice. And even after, you could sacrifice time dealing with a repair for them. It's everywhere. Okay, so we're making these sacrifices constantly, which brings us right back to that big, nagging question. If we're doing all this, why does it feel like nobody ever notices? Here's the twist. The research says that the problem isn't the act of giving something up. We often do that gladly for the people we love. The real issue is something else entirely. And there it is. It's that invisibility cloak we were talking about. The very nature of these sacrifices, especially the ones involving our time and our secret preferences, makes them incredibly hard for the other person to even see happening. And this is a huge shift in thinking. The old way of looking at it was, of course, sacrifice is great for a relationship. People see it, they say thank you, it brings you closer. But this new view says, hold on a minute. If the sacrifice is invisible, it might not be doing all that good we thought it was. So why are they so tough to spot? Well, think about it. That car seat research, that happened days ago when no one was watching. The preference you gave up for the vacation, that was a silent decision inside your own head. They might see the end result, but they don't see the cost to you. A lot of the time, they aren't even there when it happens. So this brings us to the really important part. If these kind acts are invisible, what's the big deal? What are the consequences? And is there anything we can actually do about it? Here's the real price of that invisibility. The person who's always giving things up can start to feel really unappreciated, maybe even a little resentful. And the relationship itself,
it's missing out on this huge opportunity for connection that only happens when kindness is seen and acknowledged. This quote from the paper just sums it all up perfectly. When a sacrifice goes unnoticed, it pretty much fails to deliver the good vibes it was meant to. Not for the relationship, and not even for the person who made the sacrifice to begin with. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? It's actually really simple. The magic isn't just in the giving, it's in the seeing. Recognition, appreciation, that's the stuff that turns a silent, invisible act into a really powerful moment that strengthens a bond. It's what unlocks the true value. And that leaves us with a kind of challenge. Now that you know what to call it, now that you know what to look for, what invisible effort are you going to try and spot today? Maybe from your partner, a parent, a friend. What invisibility cloak of kindness can you try to pull back?